Hello everyone, my name is Ananya Rajput and I'm a legal intern at Lexis & Company. So today I'm going to talk about restitution of conjugal rights. Now the essence of marriage is a sharing of common life, a sharing of all the happiness that life has to offer and all the misery that has to be faced in life. Now living together is a symbol of such sharing, living apart is a symbol indicating the negotiation of such sharing. In India, the conjugal rights, that is the right of the husband or the wife to the society of the other spouse, is not merely creature of the statute. Such a right is inherent in the very institution of marriage itself. The importance of the concept of conjugal rights was very clearly portrayed in the laws. In the Law Commission report, it serves as a social purpose as an aid to the prevention of breakdown of marriage. There are certain codifications related to it. Hindu Marriage Act 1955, Section 9 of Hindu Marriage Act 1955 deals with the restitution of conjugal rights. By 1976, amendment explanation was added and Section 9(2) was deleted. Code of Civil Procedure Order 21 of Rule 32 and Rule 33 deal with the decree for specific performance of the conjugal rights or for an injunction. There can only be financial sanction behind every restitution decree. Now the remedy has its origin in law of England. It was applied for the first time in India in 1866 by the Privy Council in the case of Munshi Bazlur versus Shamsonia Begum. Now, according to Oxford English Dictionary, conjugal is defined as of pertaining to marriage or to husband and wife in their relation to each other. Now, Dictionary of English Law defines conjugal rights as the right which husband and wife can have to each other, society and marital intercourse. Its suit is a marital suit cognizable in the divorce code. There was a very famous case of T. Saritha versus Venkata Subbayya. In this case, it was decided by the Andhra Pradesh High Court, which observed that Section 9 of the said Act was a savage and barbarous remedy violating the right to privacy and human dignity and equity guaranteed by Article 14 and 21 of the Constitution. Hence, Section 9 was declared to be constitutionally void for abridging rights guaranteed under Part 3 of the Constitution. Now, according to the learned judge, a decree for restitution of conjugal rights deprived of a choice as when and by whom the various parts of a body should be allowed to be censed. The court relied on the Scarman Commission's report in England that recommended its abolition. Then there was a case of Harvinder Kaur versus Harminder Singh. It was a case of 1983 and it was held that Section 9 was not violative of Article 14 and 21 of the Indian Constitution, since the leading idea behind Section 9 was to preserve the marriage. The remedy of restitution was aimed at cohabitation and consortium and not merely a sexual intercourse. Then in the case of Saroj Rani versus Sudarshan Kumar, the contradiction about the constitutional validity of Section 9 was set at rest by the Apex Court in its case. The case primarily raised three issues: determination of husband, entitlement to divorce when petition of restitution of conjugal right was filed by wife. Since a spouse is not barred by Section 23A from claiming relief under Section 13(1)(a), the decree was passed. Second, constitutionality of remedy of restitution of conjugal rights provided under Section 9 of the Act. It was held that Section 9 is not violative of Article 14 and 21 of Constitution. Then third, determination of maintenance. Separate maintenance was ordered for the wife and the daughter. In Vyuru Putharaju versus Radha 1965, in this case there was a prenuptial agreement between the husband and the wife that after marriage the husband would live with wife at a foster father's house. Now subsequently he was ill treated there and returned to his village and requested his wife to come over to him. On her refusal, he initiated a suit of restitution of conjugal rights. The court held that prenuptial agreement was unenforceable and subsequently allowed the petition. As a general principle, any agreement, be it Hindu law or Muslim law, between husband and wife to live separately is considered to be void, being contrary to public policy. In the case of Mirchumal versus Devi Bai, it was this case primarily deal with the effect of husband and wife serving in different places. In this case, the husband was in service near Ajmer and the wife worked in Adipur. On the wife's refusal to quit her job, the husband moved the petition for restitution of conjugal rights. Now, the court held that if there is no refusal on the part of the wife to allow access to her husband and no reluctance on her part in going to her husband's, then the mere refusal on her part to resign her job is sufficient ground for the husband to seek relief for restitution of conjugal rights. Hence, the petition was dismissed. Now, burden of proof. Now, restitution of conjugal rights can be claimed when the other party to the marriage has withdrawn from conjugal society without the reasonable care. It is for the party who has withdrawn from conjugal society to show valid excuse. This excuse should be reasonable and convincing. Now, the facts that the aged parents of the husband are residing with him or that the wife has to look after the deceased father's land are not reasonable excuses. However, a wife would be justified in leaving her husband if she is forced to non-vegetarian food or drinking alcohol against her wishes.